All right, welcome to Math is Easy, Step by Step. And I'd like to go over a test question for the HiSET exam. I'm going to go over, I'm going to read the sentence for A, and then for B, C, and D, it's the exact same. The only thing is difference are the values you see here in the parentheses, and then the interval equivalent value. Okay. I do want to say that you may need to watch these videos maybe more than just one time, 2 times or 3 times in this particular test question because it can be kind of tricky. And if you really want to be able to answer this type of test question correctly on the exams, you will want to watch the video one time, all the parts, part 1, part 2, part 3, and watch it again and watch it again, and it'll click. If not the second time, the third time, it should click, and you should understand exactly how to answer this type of question. I'd also want to say, watch my very last video in the series. I'm going to teach you how to answer this question with a test-taking strategy. So if you're having difficulties in understanding how to use the formula and follow the step-by-step procedures to solve this problem, look at my very last video. And if you struggle in math, it'll be a test-taking strategy that might help you to guess the answer correctly. So let's jump right on into it. Thank you for joining me. Given f of x, that is a function, equals 2x squared minus 3. Which statement below is true? A, B, C, D, or E? About the average rate of change of the function and f of x. And I want to point out here that f of x is the same thing as y. Y equals, same thing as f of x equals, right? Just want to point that out. So in reading this first question, again, I'm just going to read this sentence, and then in A, B, C, D, and E, the interval and the values associated with the interval are different. That's the only thing that is different. So A, the average rate of change of the function over the interval is 0, 2, in brackets, is 1. Okay, is 1. And then for B, it's the exact same sentence. For values in the bracket, 0, 1 is -4. For C, it's the same sentence, but inside the brackets you have a 1. 2 is 6. For D, 2 and 3 inside the brackets is 20. And E, values inside the brackets are 3 and 4, is 17. Now I'm going to go over in depth what each of these values represent and the formula that you're going to use in order to solve this particular type of problem. So before I do that, I would like to give you some key information that you're going to use to revert back to this video if you need to watch over and over again. So go ahead and check out my other videos I've posted before. This will help you get a greater, deeper understanding if you don't have it already. All right, so watch my video on understanding the coordinate plane, x and y graph. It's an xy graphing plane. Slope-intercept form, right? Where y equals mx plus b. Something very special about this m. Your m is your slope. The slope represents y over x. Even if it's a whole number, that x will be the invisible ones, right? And for this formula, your y value is going to be b. Your x value is going to be a. So it's very important you understand what a slope is in y-intercept form, right? And so again, b and a represents y over x. Regarding the formula below, I'm going to go over in just a moment. Watch my video on invisible ones. This will clarify what you do if you have an m value of 2, which we do in this problem. All right, it's going to help you understand in depth, and it's going to make my explanations much, much clearer. And of course, like I mentioned earlier, you go ahead and watch my very last video in this series, and I'm going to give you a test taking strategy in order to answer this question. Even if you struggle with mathematics, if you understand what slope is, which I'm going to get into very, very lightly in these videos, then you would be able to answer the question, or at least have a good guess in order to answer the question, okay? So let's go ahead and take a look at the formula, all right? And this is the formula in order to find the average rate of change in the interval of the function. So the average rate of change of the function, remember f of x means function, on an interval a, b is given, right? And so this is the formula here. I rewrite the formula a couple of times to help you understand the values you can substitute in this formula for b and for a. So each of those problems, if you remember, a, b, c, d, and e, each represented a value inside the brackets, right? And for the formula, the first value is a, right? Is a. But a is simply your x value of your slope. Remember, every slope will be y over x, or for this case in the formula, b over a, right? If that doesn't click, don't worry about it. I'm going to go over it in other videos, and maybe it'll click a little bit later. So every slope is a fraction, y over x. So here, your x is represented by a, your y value is represented by b. That's what's inside of these brackets, right? And so your formula is you're going to substitute a value of b, or your y value, that's why I put a y down here, into the formula, minus f of a. Well, what is your a value, right? The a value is the x. So I'm going to substitute an x, my x value for a. All right? All divided by your b value minus your a value. And again, the b value is your y minus the a, which is your x value of your slope of the function or the equation we started with. All right? Or another way to write the formula is f of y. This is your y value. Again, it's the second value in the brackets, minus f of x, which is a. Excuse me, pardon the shaking. You just put your x value here, divided by y value minus x value here. That will give you, once you simplify, right? Each of these are the same. This is the exact same formula, just a different way to understand it, right? Another way to look at this formula would be written for the b number, right? B is your b number. Your b number will be right here in the right side of the bracket. All right, minus your a number. What's the a number? Your a number is in the front part of that bracket. Divided by your b number. The b number is the y again, your y value, or this value in the bracket, minus your a value in the bracket. Okay, so this is just exact same formula, three different ways to write it or to understand it. Once you simplify, whichever one you choose to use for understanding, once you simplify it, that will give you the interval value in A, B, C, D, E option answers. That's right next to your bracket or your slope values. Okay, I hope this is starting to click a little bit for you. This is just part one. I've gone over the question. I've given you a little bit of information. I've given you some videos that you can review and watch that I've already posted to my account. Hey, remember, if these videos are helpful for you, please like, follow, and share these videos. And follow, of course. That helps me to continue to bring these videos to others, helps to build my account and sharing with others. Thank you for joining me. Math is easy. Take it step by step.